We are live.
We are? Amazing. Okay, good. Very well.
All right.
And just like magic, we are live. All right. Super excited about today's session. This was an idea that I had the other day because we were talking about things about business and what would we do if we had to rebuild lazy dancer tips from scratch and what kind of content can we come up with so that I can make videos and pre-record them and edit it. And then I said, you know what, it actually would be a nice, interesting conversation if we did it live. And it would be even more interesting if we did it live without preparing our answers, right?
Because I think like the fun part, it is just to mastermind of what a business, if we had to start it from scratch, would be like. Especially a different kind of coaching business, because at the end of the day, Lazy Dance Tips was a dancing business, so everything that had to go with creating the content, doing things live, how would I do it, and especially with the experience that I have now, and especially with the burnout that we found along the way. So
Thank you. That's the key point here. This is not just a video to just brag about how cool we are. Absolutely not. This is a video to show off how many mistakes we've done. And based on what we've learned, we want you to maybe brainstorm some ideas on what you can maybe apply and tweak in your own business without having to take everything as gospel. This is just a bunch of lessons that we've learned, and you need to be able to just pick what you want, what resonates with you, and if it doesn't, just completely ignore it. With something that we didn't know, first mistake, we we followed the gurus by the T and we burned out in the process. But I don't want to step ahead. But in order to give some kind of agenda to this conversation that could easily turn into a rumble, this is exactly what we want to talk about mainly. First of all, let's talk about all of the components of online business. Like, so content comes first, and also what kind of lead generation system would we use today? How would we craft and structure products? Our offers attached to those products, how we deliver them, and also how much, we're gonna make them people pay to access them. This is Alessia wrote this, so it's nice and neat. I don't write this neatly, so if I need to write on the iPad, it's gonna be much uglier. I apologize in advance. This is what you get.
so guys, if you're good to go, give us a thumb up or something. I know you've got the chat there. Jakob has still got the spinning wheel for some
Yeah,
reason.
I don't know when I
Just
can
forget
ignore
about
it.
it. Like ignore it, because I can see it on. I've got it on my phone. Just checking. It is
Okay,
going.
good,
So there
perfect.
you go.
So, Alessia, let me ask you, because the thing is, hey, it's Blue Side Yoga, Sarah, great to have you here. I'm going to put Alessia on the spot a lot in this video because Lazy Dancer Tips is her baby. You designed all of the creative part of it. So, but because we want to do it in a fresh way, in a more sustainable way, I want to know what you think about content. Because when we started Lazy Dancer Tips, we didn't know anything about anything. We just said, let's do videos. Let's push the couch in the kitchen, do videos, do it once a week, and see if we can grow an audience and what to do from there. So if you can let me know the first thing you did that actually worked, that helped us grow the channel, and what you think about content right now. Well, how would you approach creating content for a brand new channel?
All right. That is
Lazy Dancer
Lazy
Tips
Dance
2.0,
2.0.
if you will.
And it's okay. So it's very interesting because there are things that I like. I like it, what we did, but there are other things that I did not like. Uh, I'm gonna go with a very positive first because I think it's important
Thank you.
to understand.
Start
know
with the
you
right
like that.
notes.
And it's important to understand that there have always been very good positives, and usually was whatever I created went as a gut feeling. Whenever I wanted to share something, I shared it because maybe I needed it back in the days, as a ballerina. So I started creating content that was comfortable. And also because video wasn't my I wasn't so strong in front of a camera. It just gave me the confidence. The more videos I created, the more confident I became in front of the camera. So let's say that content wise, I still would do it from my own way, doing in my own from the heart, and creating content that felt right to me. Um, it's interesting because you always hear the gurus say that you should be doing videos in a certain way, or have a specific CTA, or have
Or
call to action,
repurpose the
or
video in a
repurpose the
million other
video.
pieces of content.
It just didn't work. So doing what I did, so creating classes, and being myself, and being me, that's exactly what made Laser Dancer Tips so unique, and that's why people came to Laser Dancer Tips. I was very much enjoying it at the very beginning, and adored everything that came out of it. What I think, it's just what I said to Jacopo before. One of the things that I would go back and change would be create content for the sake of creating content. And that is one of the
Aren't we supposed to post one video a week?
but the, okay, so if we if I had to, like, if I completely ignored the algorithm and the husband,
Mm.
yeah, that said, but we need to post one video a week, we need to do it, because I would probably just go, meh, no, I'm not gonna do that, because you can feel the content that is forced. It's forced to be out there just because you needed to fill in the gap or fill in that week. So if I had to go back, I would rather not do it and create some content that was worth my time and my people's time. Even if it came out nice, I don't think it came out as nice or as useful as I wanted.
I feel that at the beginning is not totally a bad advice to say stick with a schedule, with a content cadence, because at the beginning, usually people suck, right? And if you've never done videos before, having
A
a
routine.
weekly routine allows you to improve more and more every week. So at the beginning, it doesn't really matter if you do terrible videos. It's you just need to get the hang of it. But the problem with what we've done is that we carried on for years without changing these rules, without really understanding that we don't need to create content that is just filler for the sake of publishing. It should be the direct emanation of your energy, of what you want to share with the best state of mind and physical mind as well. Because sometimes you did videos where you were sick
Mm-hmm.
and you did it anyway. And there was no point whatsoever for you to do that. Now I understand it. And this is the reason why many people had a mental breakdown for on YouTube, on social media. They burnt out because we cage ourselves into a prison that we need to respect for some reason whatsoever. But okay, content. But would you still do one follow along class every time, or would you do something different? Because I remember you saying, well, I'm sort of teaching my audience to expect everything for free from me.
Mm-hmm.
So would you change that, or would you still have some of that element in it?
Okay, I think I would have some, but because the content would be so tailored to have a specific goal, I would probably change it. As I said, I would start not thinking about quantity, but I would think about quality and the way they feel, just like we do now. So rather than thinking again one a week just for the sake of one a week, I would probably think about, okay, how can I help them in a way to deliver what I have, my way of teaching, my method, how I make them feel in uh it can even be one full class. There can be just to show how I approach the class. It can even be, listen to this, it can even be a week plan, right? Something that is tailored to show someone how to go from A to Z within a week and how it is to work with me within a week. Or what I wouldn't do would be to just constantly give out stuff for free. And this, I think, comes into the second point. It kind of leads straight into the lead generation side.
Everything is interconnected.
It is interconnected because what we did was, yes, giving a lot of content out for free, but also we did a lot of freebies. There was a lot of free stuff that they could download just to fill in the it's always a filling to create and build the email list. So I think the concept of it was totally wrong because it was free over free over free, and people just went. I was like, oh wow, you've done all this stuff for free. Why should I pay you anyways? So
Let's pause here for a second.
okay,
Because this exact way of doing things is what everybody is teaching out there.
correct.
If you pay for a YouTube coach, they'll tell you exactly this: grow your audience, grow your email list if they're good, right? We did that and we don't suggest that. Well, let's focus on content for a second. We said that it's got to be sustainable for
Correct.
you and it's got to be meaningful. But also, why do I have to create content in the first place if that's a drag, right? For the simple reason that if you don't post content, the only other way for you to get known by anybody is to run ads. If you don't want to spend money in running ads, which by the way is just as hard to create as creating content, you've got to create content. But you want to do it in a way that gives you joy. So you need to sort of combine what people are looking for. That's when YouTube search is really handy at the beginning, with what you love as well, without killing yourself, which I cannot emphasize this enough, without killing yourself. And people need results in advance, needs to know you, needs to know your method, and needs to know what to do after they've liked your content. There's four main types. And so how do we go from content, and now we've done it in a way that it's a bit more mature, okay? We want to be able to contact people that liked our content. How do we do that? So in the beginning, we did lots of freebies, like you said, because you want to give something out for free, because that's the culture of the platform, especially in YouTube. So people jump from your video into your website and they just download whatever resource you have in exchange for their name and email. Amazing. We've grown an email list of dozens of thousands of people like that. And what was the experience? What did you feel with that? How did you
I
feel?
felt that I constantly worked to then have people coming into my like grabbing whatever was available for free and then buggering off, literally unsubscribing it because well I got what I came for, so thank you very much, goodbye. Well, I'm not going to see you ever again. So you feel abused in a way, while there is a very small percentage that will be interested in everything else that you do that is paid content. So to me, as much as I was following, because I back in the days, I think because I didn't know how things worked, he was the person that was studying, and so we tried and we experimented together to grow an audience and do everything by the T, because that's what we learned. It's like we do everything by the T to then grow an email list, because they say you got to grow an email list because if even just 1% is going to buy from you, you're going to be rich. But it doesn't feel like that. It's not like that, and it feels that you're constantly giving heart and soul and energy out, and the very minimum comes back in. The people that grow your list most of the times are there dormant. They're like sleeping beauties, just staying there, and they go, well, I don't really care about what you do next. I came for the free stuff, and that's it.
Just, I want to give you some perspective based
Mm.
on what we've experienced. So let's suppose you do exactly that. You grow a channel and you want to grow an email list using a free lead magnet, which by the way works incredibly well. We had so much success with it, with a big, big but. So let's say you have this amount of views. Let's say you have 1,000 views. This 1,000 views on a specific video where you have a call to action to go and download a free lead magnet will translate into, okay, the highest we've had in terms of conversion rate on our landing pages was at some point 80%, but on not forever. Nothing is forever. Everything fizzles out. And usually, if you've done a really good job, a lead magnet should convert at about 30 to 40%. I've seen lead magnets that with time they go back down to 10%. Okay, it's kind of depressing. So 40% to 10% conversion rate will give you what? 40 to 10 downloads, 40 to 10 leads. But what kind of leads are those? These leads are people that are used to gain everything for free from you, everything for free from you. And so you're going to nurture them, right? You need to warm them up in terms of you might have a product for sale. And with email, you know you can contact whenever you want. They're not tied in with your algorithm, with the algorithm. That is the point of an email list. The thing is, the conversion rate of this email, it might be actually the click-through rate. Every time you send an email, 1 to 2% of these people will click on your links. Okay, which is maybe if you send the first email, maybe just 1 to 4 people will click on that email. That email might have an offer. If the click brings them to a landing page, this 1 to 4 clicks, if you've got a killer offer that is converting at about, I don't know, 10%, what is 10% of 1 and 4? Not even 1. So you need to have more views, more than 1,000 views to even have your first sale. Just because, statistically speaking, by attracting people that want stuff for free, this is the type of percentages that you can expect. And this is what we did. We had so many views on our videos, hoping to get so many leads in our email list, hoping to get so many clicks, hoping to get so many sales. And it's kind of like trying to kill a fly with a huge cannon.
Plus, think about this. Every time that I thought, oh, I am not going to do a video this week because I'm so tired. I don't know what I can come out with. It's not, something is not right. We would just think, yeah, but we need the views.
Yeah.
We need the views, and therefore we need new content because the algorithm likes the new content. And the more people we push it out to, the more we're gonna survive this month. Okay, so that is not nice to think about that because the content comes out absolutely horrendous. Or well, in my opinion, you don't stop and think, and it's just about the amount of stuff that you can put out in order for that 1% to be clicked in your email. And that brings that anxiety up because it's almost like you cannot let go of the machine, because if you let go of the machine, there is nothing that is going to work.
That's when the prison feeling starts. That's when you start feeling abused.
Yeah.
How many thousands of views do I need my videos to gain in order to just sell a handful of courses? We had only low ticket products at the time. We're going to get into pricing and offers in a minute, but that's a brutal way of building a business, relying on all of this traffic for just a tiny bit of conversion.
So lead generation wise, because we still want, at the end of the day, we still want our list to grow, but there is always a very different way to have the list to grow, and we want quality people. Now I understand this, that I want quality people that listen to what I say. They understand me, they like me, and also at one point I would like to work with them. Of course. Well, yeah.
I'm going to propose a better way of doing lead generation.
Okay, tell me.
Tell me if that resonates with you.
Right.
So imagine you are creating videos that speak from the heart, right? Just you are forgetting about the call to action. You don't care about the call to actions anymore. You just show up because you want to serve your people for whatever mission you have in your heart. And then you build goodwill because people will at some point when you start publishing videos, people say, how do I repay you? I feel like I want to pay you, I want to give you something in exchange for all of this value that you are adding to my life. This happened to us a million times, and we always say, just go and buy our products. That's the best way to do it. If you don't squeeze the goodwill of your audience by constantly sending to download a free resource and ask them to buy something via email, when the time is right, the best thing we could do is, instead of doing a free, almost meaningless free resource for them to download and keep it on their phone and never look at it again, wouldn't it be amazing to just do a 1 day workshop, 2 day workshop, three, how many days you want to run it, just because you feel like, you know what, let's get closer to the people that want to work with me in more proximity. But you make them pay something that is not much. Maybe it's an entry level price. $50 to $100, I feel like, is the minimum to filter out all of the herd of people that I'm never going to buy anything from you anyway. So you end up with just a handful of people or from your core audience jumping into your ecosystem, because they'll have to pay for the ticket to jump live, even if it's an in-person thing, it doesn't matter. It's the same concept. They're going to give you name and email. So now you start building an email list of buyers, and the psychology that there is from somebody that gave you even $1 compared to somebody that has seen all of your videos, downloaded all of your resources, but never paid you anything, it's like night and day. Completely different students.
The way they approach you, the way they respect you, the way they send you emails, it just changes so much. And it's interesting because if I could go back, I wouldn't. The only free content I would have, it would be the one on a YouTube, by just, it would be tailored, it would be curated, and it would be very limited in what I could give out, limited in the way I can spend time with them. Why? Because if I ever have to do something a little bit more, I would definitely do a workshop where I can show them, or I can lead them, I can teach them a class, and it's done properly. Also, because whoever, as Jacopo was saying, if they've got skin in the game, I've also got skin in the game, and I wouldn't feel constantly abused, overworked, and feeling that I'm doing, jumping backwards to just say, guys, please, please, please come and join even the free workshop. I did free workshops, like, come on, it's a freaking free workshop. How easy can I make this for you? So just by changing the perspective and changing the way you approach certain things, the people that would come into your workshop, it would be you love being in the same room with them. So yes, the only lead generation that I would probably do going back would be to have these paid workshops, even if it is a little bit harder at the beginning, because let's consider that I'm now talking from a point of view where I've got 250,000 almost. I've lost count to 230 whatever
130 plus.
um subscribers on your YouTube. Yes, there are a lot. So I've got that. But if I had to do it at the very beginning, I probably would start maybe with a lower ticket workshop, just to test the water and see how much time I would actually spend or do, or who they are and what they need and what they like. But I would not do it for free. And even if I had fewer people, so rather than having 10, I would have two, it would be so much better. and better quality within the workshop.
I feel like, yes, you would bring back the confidence you have right now in also your own values, because at the beginning you really struggled to make anyone pay anything. So much so that we waited 1.5 years before creating our very first product,
But
right?
that was I think, and I'm pretty sure that was me having to battle with a lot of monsters of having to make people pay for my services. And I couldn't
Yeah.
understand it. It's like, oh, but but there is so many other classes out there. Am I that special?
Yes,
That
you are.
I'm making people
You are very special.
But that is always the imposter syndrome that comes out that doesn't it's almost like it doesn't allow you to show off in a way, the tall poppy syndrome that we were saying this morning, when you
Yes.
want to do something, that you have this creativity, that um you want to shine, but you are so worried, and you get people around you, the small poppies, that tell you that you're not worthy, or that you're not good enough, or just because they're not doing it right. So you're always going to be the tall one that does all the jobs, and the brave one to try something different, something new. And then everyone else is pointing fingers. But that's why I said, like, that's probably why I was special, and I consider myself special in what I created, and I'm so proud of what I created even without knowing anything. So if you're out there and you're creating something and everyone is just telling you that you're crazy, you're doing something like this, pat yourself on the back, because this is the hardest thing you can ever do. And if you go through with this and you succeed, and I'm sure you will succeed, bloody hell, just pat yourself on the shoulder. Go for it, and never look back. Be the tall poppy every single time. Be that tall poppy. Stand
I
out.
think this is stuff that you only learn with experience. You don't just wake up in the morning and just go for it. You need to have, I mean, if you're anything like me, I needed the proof that I was worth it, all of that rubbish that your mind tells you constantly. But I feel like coming from my perspective right now, I feel like I see so many talented people being stuck in the mud of not wanting to show up the way they should because they're afraid they're gonna piss some people, or maybe be judged by them. And I feel this does a disservice to your audience way more than you showing off in a way. If you sold yourself to yourself every single day, I think, without being cocky or disrespectful to anyone, but just being really proud of your experience. Be grateful of what the universe, God, whoever you believe in, gave you. Your content, your products, the way you attract people would completely change. And that's why the strategies, the how to do things is just 20% of the whole equation, because the other 80% is the emotions attached to the actions. And until you fix that, nothing's going to work. So, this is sort of like a side note. I really hope you sell yourself to yourself, because the world needs more of your energy, of your light, so that you can actually, you're going to be able to do this stuff, not just talk about it, watch it, and then go back and do the same thing over and over again when you're back home, when you're back on your business, right? And I close. Let's move to, so now that we are creating content that we want.
It's the content. So we're creating content that we want with a goal in mind, let's say, but with it's not even with strategy, because I don't even think that there is strategy. It's something that we like. We don't get overwhelmed. So, but every time that we create content, it's so good that people are just waiting for you to watch it.
The
Isn't
right people.
it? Isn't it? Like, it's the right people that watch it. And you're not just creating content for the masses and numbers. You're creating content for people that want to be there. I said the other day, it's like, okay, so YouTube is called YouTube, right? You, like me, right? And it's not YouTube what other people think you should tube, right? So it's the way
Yes.
you do it, it's the way you create it, is the way you show up for others. Yes, but it is also what you like, and people will follow you because of the way you are, the way you interact with them, the way you show up. And I like to think of people as notes, like musical notes, and people resonate at different frequencies. So if I'm pressing a button and it resonates at a certain key, it's a key and it resonates at a certain sound. Um, Not everyone will like that sound, and not everything or everyone will vibrate at that note. So you will only attract the people that are connected to that scale on on the notes. And I love that. So think about that. Think about the content that you create and the way you resonate, the musical notes that you resonate with the others, and they will resonate back with you. And whenever you are bringing them into your ecosystem, they're going to be the people that you like to work with because you understand each other. And even then, they will be more than happy to continue to work with you, even on a small scale, even if it is just a workshop, and pay you for what you have to offer. So, different way of lead generation. So, you're still going to have people in your ecosystem that are happy to be there and to receive your emails.
Especially grow a list of buyers, not a list of freebie seekers. And this brings me to,
So first of all, because I keep thinking about like some tips on how I would scratch it all
yes,
out and
if
just
you've
start
got
again.
any questions and comments, just write them down in the chat. We have
We
the
have the
chat in
chat right
front of
here.
us. We can answer any question. We're just gonna go on because now I want to talk about products. Our
I'm wearing
very
nothing.
first product was, well, thankfully it was a good model. uh, we were working a 9 to 5, and we said, you know what, we need that stability. We need monthly recurring revenue. So the only product I want to work for is a membership. I don't want to have the weight of having to sell every single month. I don't know. I don't even know how to do it. So membership it is. But did you know how to craft products at the time? Like, we're talking about
Okay.
digital products.
I'll tell you one thing. When we first got approached by Vimeo that said, "Oh, you guys can just have a membership and put everything that you have into this paid wall."
And also add exclusive content. It's
And,
not just
and
having.
then yeah, and that was getting to that. Like, and then adding exclusive content, because I still remember the guy going, "You can just grab everything that you have on YouTube and just shove it in literally just copy paste and put it behind paywall." And my thought was, what's the point? What's the point of having the same content that is out there back on the YouTube? I don't understand. Yeah, maybe there is no ads. It's easier to find whatever it
But
is,
also,
but
if
still,
Vimeo tells you to do that, maybe they've
they've
understood
understood
something. It's a
something.
big company, right?
The other thing that I didn't
So,
understand was creating more content that was exclusive content. So not only we were now overwhelmed by creating content for YouTube every single week, it didn't matter what was coming out, but also I had to create every single month, or at least once a month, something for the membership. So for me was I constantly created courses, and I constantly created programs, but programs that were new. And so that's when the burnout came about. And I didn't understand, because I didn't understand the concept of a membership or the concept of a journey. Uh, that to me was a revelation in a way, but also I think it was still wrong concept. Like the way we see memberships now, it's so wrong, because also see a lot of membership that I am in, that I love, and
even big ones,
big ones,
very famous influencers, they do the
and they're
same mistake.
constantly creating content, and they're constantly even having to pay other instructors to come in because they are burned out. They needed to have their time off because they can't keep up with the creation of content. And to me, it's ridiculous, because in theory, it should give you the stability. It should also give the possibility to you, to the people that are in the membership, to enjoy it. I find myself in this membership, I tell you this, and probably mine as well, when it was at the beginning, where they were so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed with content, and I was so I even now I just keep going around and like, I don't know, I just keep doing the same ones because I like them, and there is so much stuff that even if I started from scratch and did one after the other, it would take me decades to actually go through all the content that this person has created.
We realized that when we sent our first survey, when we set up the first survey for people leaving our membership, because we needed to know why are you leaving, so we can improve our product so that you can stay for longer next time. And many people said it really feels like YouTube, meaning I have to search for the videos or the plan and do them, and then sort of keep track of my progress by myself. And it's too much of a brain work,
Hmm.
and I feel overwhelmed. And also because there is so much stuff, I don't feel I'm getting my money worth. Light bulb moment. I'm like, Alessia, stop building stuff. We are overwhelming people with that. We've already built so much, so the monster was unstoppable at that point. Because so okay, so not new content every month that is all disjointed and disconnected.
Can I tell you something?
What do you do?
We go back, I would just delete everything and start from scratch.
That's why we are here. What would you? So let's say, okay, first day in Lazy Dancer Tips membership. How would you?
Okay, so I'm a little bit torn between two things.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll tell you, there is a one part of me where I wouldn't create anything,
Mhm.
and I would only write down the concept of what Lazy Dancer Studio would be, right? So the membership. And I would start creating as we went along the content with the people that were in the group. That could be one way of
So
thinking it.
this is the best way, actually. So you would do like a founding member offer on paper,
Mm-hmm.
present it to your audience, and say,
Yeah.
guys, would you like something like this? Yes, no, you can tweak it until people say, yes, definitely, I would want to join this membership. It looks amazing. But then when they get in, there's nothing because you were just building with them.
But they would know that
They
because
would know that,
they
yeah, of
know
course.
that because it's something that you can do together. Maybe what I can do is like have a few little bonuses. I don't know, maybe the workshops that we did together and just put them there. So it's not empty, but at least whenever would start creating content, I would create it with them. So I would know where because at the end of the day, even if you're starting out, there is always a part of building something, but at least you're building something with people that have paid you or they're paying you every month. I think that is
This is something that people don't want to do.
it's scary. I didn't want to do it either. That's why I kept creating
You,
stuff and
you
putting it in there.
selling it before you build it. It's something that people are not comfortable with.
No. And it's very
And
uncomfortable, but you would actually create something that is so unique and so beautiful and so spontaneous and
perfect.
perfect.
Not what you think your audience need is actually what they need because they're going to ask you to build it. It totally agree with you. I would totally go back in time and save us that 7, 8 months of building. So
Stuff.
I just want to give you some perspective because we were basically working with music all the time. And music licenses, if you've ever approached acquiring any music license, it's one of the most expensive thing you can think of, especially if you want to use it commercially. So you came out with a 4 weeks fitness program called Ballet Burn, which was one of the many courses that we had in the membership. And I said, great, we need music for that. How do we find 50 minutes plus of the same rhythm of music, fitness music?
It
I
did
looked,
have
I looked around, but it was very
there were
expensive.
websites. Okay, so there were now there is art list. So easy peasy things came out exactly for that reason. Um,
There's many
but
websites now.
yeah, but back when we started, uh, there was nothing, and you would have to pay a license, one-off license for certain amount of minutes. And usually the licenses were around 100, 200, 300, 500
It
bucks.
was
It
Brazilians.
was Brazilians. So if you thought about every single music that was out there that we needed to create to be legal, and we still are, that's how much we would have to have had invested in that specific project. Too many
So we
pages.
thankfully we couldn't do that. But sometimes when you don't have the money to invest, you need to get resourceful. And I said, why don't we compose it ourselves? I'm gonna find a software that it's easy enough to do drag and drop with some bases, and we create our own music with our own beats and whatever you want. So we spend hours and hours and hours building and creating our own music as well. This is how crazy we were. Like we couldn't really understand anything. We were just me and you doing all the things.
But also because I didn't understand this concept of, I didn't understand the concept of membership. I didn't understand the concept, as I said before, of journey. And I didn't understand the fact that I could build it with people that would help me out, but not helping me out physically, helping me out to just go back and forth with the people in there, having feedback and having this founding members that would create the perfect membership. So that's like a way of doing it. Or this is the very first one. Or
Maybe
if
that could
I
be phase one
phase
and
one,
phase
but
two.
let's say that I made the mess already. Okay, so I created some stuff and it was there. I wouldn't create different courses, like self-standing courses as they are, and then put them into a membership. But the only thing I would do would be, as now, like delete everything, start from scratch, start from zero, and connect a journey. I think that would be the way of doing, like connect a journey and have all different one only starting point, and then have my people come with me on this specific journey. It would have been also nicer to, and a little bit more spaced out time wise, if I think about it, rather than rushing it through and shoving it together. But it would be nice to paste it out and say, okay, so this is what they should do now, this is how they are gonna um, um, evolve into their artistry now. This is what they need technically now. This is where we start working on flexibility. And you just keep going by adding little modules as you go along bit by bit. So you're building, you can still build the membership, but you would it would everyone would start from a specific point, doesn't matter where, it's just a journey that you take on with them. Yes, maybe you can have, I don't know, beginners, intermediate, advanced, whatever you want to, where people know where they're at, but it's still, it can start from one spot and continue in the next. It would be much easier on that point.
So I think just to give you a visual, we started with the concept of um, this is like course number one. Let's say it's a 30-day course. Then we've got another program here. It's another 30-day. They might not be the same topic. This might be cardio. This might be flexibility. And then we have so many, I could go on forever. This is maybe ballet technique. So they're all disjointed.
Mm.
And if I come to a membership that's got all of these beautiful boxes and it's up to me to decide which one to pick, I'm gonna get frustrated and leave at some point. That's the reason why people left. So let's number this: the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, they're all, Alessia created all of these courses because they made sense as a whole. Like in theory, you should work to your conditioning, your flexibility and technique. And
There's two things I did wrong there. Well, number one was to create stuff that people needed. All right. And every time they asked me something, I just created it. So I just created more stuff, more courses, because someone asked me, I'm gonna do it. Right. So that, because it's the creative way to actually put it out there.
It's going somewhere, but
Okay, no, but
okay, just
okay.
I know that you like to interrupt me,
I
but I
love
was going
interrupting. I
somewhere.
know, but because
So
and
I just want to show what you just said before. Like instead of doing this, it's something that we actually done afterwards, and that's been a massive undertaking as well. Instead of doing that, think about of a membership this way. Think of it as a long journey that starts from zero and let's say is going to take you, ideally if you're a genius and you do everything every day without mistake, let's say 12 months. I always like to think in terms of 1 year, and people will take 3 4 5 times more. So you basically lay down the path for them for a long run. But the beauty of this thing is that instead of creating a huge amount of little very valuable but confined and limited programs, you put them in a series of steps. So maybe this is program number 1, and then it's done in month 1 just because it makes sense for them to do it. But then after they've done it, immediately there is number 2, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, there is a sense of progression when they finish. Maybe let's say they finish the first 2 months, they don't need to figure anything out. They know that the next sensible step for them is to go to number 3. And if you craft it in a way that makes sense, you make sure that they know what's expected on month 12. This is the big, like we call it the
assoluta.
prima ballerina assoluta, which is, what is it? It's like you like the god of dance.
Yeah, like you become like that's the funny thing is like every time someone comes around on each slice of the pie, half of
Yeah,
the
we've got
pie.
badges. We've got
It
level
got
one,
budgets,
two,
but
three,
I've also
four.
got self-assessment, so people know where they're at, what they do, and how not, and also if they want to progress and they want my advices, they become that they
So
can share in the community what they do.
you put a barrier there, which is a test. They pass the test and they work on the second one so they can win the other badge. This is something that we found works extremely well because there is a sense of progression, and progression is momentum. Momentum is happiness. When you know you're going somewhere, you're progressing. It's not when you're done with something, it's when you get closer to something that is good. This is a massive change of perspective from memberships, but also just wanted to add something to this. Now that uh, for membership to work, how do I delete this? I'm gonna do this.
That was not the way.
We didn't know about the 3 C's, right? We only knew the first C. The first C was content, right? People need to have stuff to watch and work on and all of that. So we did lots of content. Without understanding, then there are 2 more C's that are just as important. One is community, and the other one is coaching. So now we have all of these.
Now we have all this, but that's another thing like that I would probably change. So as I said, like I created content every time, even in the membership, every time someone asks me to do something, or they say I've got a problem with this. Let's I create a new a new product for it so I can just put it into the membership. And I think that was wrong. It was overwhelming, and it was overwhelming for both the people in the membership and my own. And if I could go back, I literally would just clear everything out. The other thing I would add would be if there is obviously there is a community, which I absolutely adore, and people do help each other out. They give each other challenges. It's nice it's a very nice active community. I've never seen a community that active and also so supportive of each other. I have to thank the people that came in. They were on the same line as me, but as you can see, people that come and pay and they get to know you, they understand you, they love you, they will stay, and they will understand the core of the community. So that's why they're there, and that's why it works. So thanks to me. So I'm my crazy me for putting something like that out. Um, and the other thing I would help them out with, so I would have everyone going through the journey, full stop. It doesn't matter where you come from because there is always something new to learn, whether you're a beginner or an advanced coming into beginning. And I would coach them through in a group coaching setting, probably having answering questions because usually people need the questions, and especially whenever it's a membership for hobbies, people like to do things in their own time. So not necessarily being there at a certain time. That's why at a certain point our lives also started, people weren't turning up anymore.
Yeah.
COVID was gone, was done, but also people wanted to have, like, they went back into their normal routine. So times for me weren't working, times for them weren't working, and people just constantly said, I don't have time to do 2 to 3 hours of workshop with you, and I also prefer to do things in my own time. So that was a big eye opening because again, what I thought they needed, they actually didn't want to, the majority of people just said no thank you. And I would, if I could go back now, I would probably just go through like monthly coaching to see where they're at, to direct them to answer everyone's question, because that is also the thing, like people think that you need to do specific things, like I don't know, more coaching, more workshops, more lives, sometimes it's just about answering questions, and that's exactly what they needed. Maybe it's
Because
not answering questions, maybe it's
it
I
brings us to the very important point. Why? So if you don't have to create lots of all of that, this I think is important. Like, so what is the offer, right? That is what people pay for mainly. If the offer is good, nothing else matter as long as you can fulfill on the promise of the offer, right? And the offer for us has always been fairly simple. Learn to dance ballet as an adult in the comfort of your home without a judgment from anyone, in a friendly environment, with the help of the community and Alessia. I think we overstuffed everything with too much stuff, but that was really the offer. And we had people that, now price offer and pricing, they kind of go hand to hand because of um, how much you can do, how much is going to be sustainable for you, but also for your audience. Because if you ask them to jump live every week, it's probably not going to work because they're busy, they're adults. This is a hobby. It's not something they would what they want to do for their profession. They're not committed yet. So even the way you design your product and your offer is very important. So if you had to think about an offer, what would you offer? I remember the first offer you made was amazing. You went on YouTube and proud of the Lazy Dancer Studio and said, guys, we've built the Lazy Dancer Studio, which is a place where you have exactly the same stuff that you find on YouTube, just now you have to pay for it.
I don't even.
You didn't say that, but you said something like, we've got more plans and more dancing and more of what you love in there, which is like, well,
Because
I've got enough videos here. Why would I sign up for this membership? What is the point?
but that is the funny thing because I didn't understand.
What
I
an
didn't
offer was.
understand what an offer was. Didn't understand what as a that concept of membership. It was so totally wrong. That maybe because we never had them over in Italy, it was something very different. Maybe because, as I said, people were expecting something new every month. But it was the expecting something new every month, and I think
Because you
that was
promised that.
exactly.
That was the mistake.
Yeah, that was the wrong offer.
Yeah.
So offer wise, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I would offer right
Yeah, I
now.
mean, okay,
It's
so imagine, so we've got, let's go through this. We said the content, the first C, is this new ballerina journey. So they start from scratch and they progress and they do it in their own time. The second C is, of course, a private community.
which that we have.
Yes. And then the third C would be coaching. By you, we talked about this.
There was
You
something
wouldn't
that
want
I wanted to do was one-on-one because I don't know why I didn't like it. I didn't want to do one-on-one. To me was not it wasn't interesting. No, hang on. We did try it. I did try. I had someone absolutely adorable that came and said, I wanna try a one-on-one online with you." And so we created it was an offer. We did 5, 6 classes. I did assess to what she needed and where she was at, and then we started with the classes. But it was so much work to set everything up and to create and do the classes just for one person that I thought that concept for one person doesn't work.
well,
Yes, hang on. It doesn't like for the amount for the price that I've asked her, it wasn't right. It wasn't working. Yes, it was at home, but no, for the amount of time and effort that I put in, it wasn't worth it for me. So, and also I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much. And that's why I said like I don't want to do one-on-one on that like that.
perfect. And it's good that you want to put boundaries on what you don't want to do, because if you just do whatever you've heard, you've read in a book or in a course, it's gonna eat your soul alive, and we know exactly how that feels.
But that's one of the most important things. I think once you understand what you like and what you don't like, you got to put it down into paper. And every time that someone comes and asks you, would you do like one-on-one or would you do this kind of work with me, even in like with 8, 10 people? If your gut feeling says no, don't do it. Don't do it because it's not going to feel right. And you're going to hate every single moment of it. And it's not going to come, nothing good is going to come out of it. So to me was a big no-no. So
Okay,
offer
so
wise, I would go back into creating this membership, probably, let me think about it. So I would start, I'm going to think about it. Yes, I would put together the ballerina journey. Definitely, I would go with ballerina journey.
yeah,
I would go with the community.
this is content that once it's done, it's
It's done.
it's done.
So you've got so anyone that comes
You don't have to
into your
create new content every month.
no,
If you
it's there.
want, you can add side quests, like we like to
Oh,
mention,
yeah, I like side quests because every
maybe
now
the
and then,
pop-up courses.
for example, I do pop up. It's not even pop up courses. Like I still grab stuff that is in the membership. And people,
Right.
hang on,
Yes.
bear with.
Tip of the
Tip of
pro.
the
How
pro,
not to do new content
how
and
not to
still
do new
deliver new
content.
stuff.
I've got so much stuff in there that even I don't remember. Like literally, I don't remember. So my side quests are, I don't know, one a week program where I grab content from anywhere that makes sense within that program. I write a few letters, maybe letters I call like a blog post. That's what it is within Kajabi because that's what we use. I write every day what they need to do. So if it's a week, I write what they need to do every day with their video, and it packages up within in this plan, and it's with the specific end goal. So, for example, we had a Get Scary Flexible plan
For
for
Halloween.
Halloween. It was 2 weeks. But also, what I liked about that plan, it was a way for me to share the knowledge of ballet shows and anything and theater shows, which I really liked. They were very nice and spooky, because that's what I like to do.
They loved it,
They
didn't they?
loved it, but also I gave them limited time
Yeah, that's the
to
key.
finish it, right? So it was a pop-up, and then if you did it within that amount of time, which, spoiler alert, yes, they did plead me to just leave it there for a little bit longer because they liked it. So
You
it's
did.
gonna go. Yeah, I caved. I did as I said. Um, but that was a way for me to recycle content that hasn't been seen by everyone, because literally, and put it out there and give it a bit of a highlight. So that for me was the side quest. And I do this every now and then to revamp and to give a little bit of pepper within the membership and to people that are there.
So content is like that, a main journey and then side quests just to keep them engaged. And also with deadlines so that everything we do, it needs to have some skin in the game, either monetary or time-wise. Because otherwise people don't do the things. That's psychology for you. I don't know what to tell you. And then the second C, we added a private community where people can add their pictures, their photos, their videos,
They
and
can ask
and
questions.
it's almost like it runs by itself.
At the moment, it runs by itself, so I would not change that. I would like,
That's brilliant.
if you can create a space where people help each other out because you taught them so. It's at the
Yes,
end
it's
of the
a
day, it is the culture, it is the way you teach them, you train them to be themselves. But again, it comes back into people that come into your ecosystem because they like, and they will come into your membership because they resonate on the same note, right, with what we're talking about. So they will understand the culture and the way you speak. So
so
that
yeah.
I wouldn't change. This is the very first thing I would not change about that membership. I wouldn't do any free group communities.
No,
Like, we've done free communities, ain't gonna do that anymore.
thousands and thousands of members,
Thousands.
silent, unengaged, because psychology is that they're just there because they want to be there. They don't want to pay. They don't have a skin in the game.
So no.
Selling is serving.
So as I said, I wouldn't do, like, on my side, I wouldn't do one-on-one, but
Yeah, David asks, what about
live
live
monthly
monthly
Q&A for
Q&A for
coaching.
coaching?
That could be something we could do.
Which it
Uh,
doesn't mean that you have to come up with an entire new class
Class,
every
it
time.
would be answering people's question s- on a specific. But that's the thing. If they were specifically on the ballerina journey or something that is about that journey, then it would be so much simpler to talk to people about that. The talk about Q and A's. At the moment, for example, I have people coming in with about a million questions from a million different places, and I don't even know what they're talking about because I don't remember.
So maybe this group coaching, it's not free for all. You can set the agenda of the topic for the specific one. Or maybe, you know what, also, to avoid that problem, you can post on the community and ask them, send us all of the questions you have, and then you do your pre-filter so that you can come on the call prepared about something that you want to steer the conversation towards.
That could be that
That
could
could
be
be
something like
interesting.
this, or it could be monthly topics, because maybe you know your people so well that every month, then you know that they're gonna struggle with something specific. And it seems to me, for example, this time of the year can be overwhelm, burnout, or anything like that, or anxiety. It just does happen. So you see what people go throughout the year, if they're in business, maybe because they have specific ups and downs within their business. If it is about fitness, you know that it's the time of the year where they might
How to deal with
how
cravings,
to deal with
diets,
cravings,
and working
diets.
out when the
Correct.
weather is not great.
So
All of the
anything
things.
like that,
Theme.
themes can work very well, or just
So
asking the community.
David asks, no Facebook group for community behind a paywall? Well,
No,
we departed Facebook a long time ago. Since Kajabi had its first version of the community, the ugly one, we said, okay, let's have that on the side. As soon as it gets better, we can shut down the Facebook group. And when they acquired Vibely, it was good enough. We said, great, let's jump ship, and we closed all of our Facebook groups.
I've
And people loved it.
I found Facebook groups so messy and so it's Facebook.
You don't have
There's
the
so much
feeling that
stuff.
it's really private.
No.
That was one of the main concerns from many of our members. So now the Kajabi community looks exactly like Facebook, but it's not Facebook. It's under our brand. Everything is protected. There are no distractions, and it works really, really well. What David proposed could be done live.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Q&A coaching for sure. Yeah, yeah. Actually, live makes it highly, highly valuable. Actually, it's more enjoyable as well. Like I enjoy doing this more than I enjoy pre-record videos. So, well, it's up to you. If you hate lives, don't do it live. I hate when you have to do something. You don't have to do anything. It's just follow your guts. What do you enjoy doing? It's not gonna stress you out. When we close this live, I'm gonna feel happy and energized. I'm not gonna feel drained and sad. This is what I want. Like design it the way you want to feel first. David, you need to look at Kajabi community again because actually, if you want access to actually, I shouldn't say this.
But we do.
We have access to the latest one, a beta version of the latest one. It is pretty amazing.
Not better, better
Beta version. It looks incredible.
Incredible.
Now, any improvement they do on it, I don't
It's
care.
so good.
This
I-
is already so good. And by the way, Kajabi is running just side note, is running a
Black Friday deal.
Black Friday deal. They give you 50% off for 6 months. But I've got a link in description, I believe, that you can get the same deal but for 12 months. So if you're interested, it should be there somewhere in the description. Go grab it. Kajabi rocks. That's the only software we use to run all of our online businesses. So now that we defined kind of like the product and how it's structured because we know it's going to work, let's talk about the actual offer. Like, how do we structure what is it? The delivery. We actually talked about we actually talked about the delivery as well. Yeah, I forgot about the delivery. The delivery is basically where's your content, where's your community, and how do you deliver the coaching side of things. So this is imperative. It should suit your lifestyle. Don't kill yourself. Don't bend over backwards for people because it's not sustainable. This is rule number one. Tattoo it on your forehead, write it on your wall with paint spray, whatever you want. Don't do things that don't feel good to you. This is something that if I could go back in time, I would tell myself, slapping myself in the face. Don't do any of that. Pricing, because, you know, what do we think about low ticket memberships? So our first membership it didn't have any of that. Was about, I think it was $9 a month. So $9 a month is because we modeled what Yoga with Adrian was doing.
Yeah, but she already had like 1 million subscribers. It was something
She
ridiculous. She
had
was already like very far ahead. They started before, but the amount of number one it was yoga. So it was yoga, and number two it was yeah, they started way before us. So there was this concept that said, okay, because it's online, listen to this, because that's also what I thought. Because it's online, it's not as valuable as being in person.
Self-limiting belief number one.
Correct. So I said, well, if she's doing $9 a month, I'm going to do $9 a month. I cannot compete with someone that is doing, that's the other one. I cannot compete with someone that's doing something totally different.
And also, it's got a different mission. Yoga with Adrian had a mission of making yoga available to anyone. That's the reason why they had such a low price, as well as creating so much content for free. Is that our mission?
No,
Well, it partially is, but
but
unfortunately,
it wasn't just that. It was yes to bring ballet to people, and but obviously I could never, because ours is it's a smaller niche in a way, if you think about
yeah,
it.
way smaller.
Uh, there is a lot more taboo around it. So there was a lot of self-limiting belief on their side that I had to clear out before even just saying try this for free. So there was a lot of work to be done on mindset on my side for the people that were watching, because even now I still receive messages going, but can I try it? I was like, you're at home, you can definitely try it. So there was this thing that ballet was not for everyone and a yoga is. So there was a lot of work to be done there. Um, and that's where I was at. So yeah.
So, well, the big problem with membership, low ticket memberships, is something that if I again could go back in time, I would just grab myself and sit down and talk about exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. Let's say you're running a low ticket membership. Your main goal, in order for you to be, for this to be sustainable, is to get as many members as possible. It's like the Netflix model. Netflix is what, £15?
Something like that.
Some £17, but it used to be less. And what do they have inside? They have the best series and movies out, and they spend millions in production. It wouldn't make any sense for somebody to just start a new Netflix and try and compete with that, which is kind of what we did. They have, I don't know how many million users, so now they are profitable, but they didn't start with that. We started with that. But let's say, I'm gonna make this work. So I want, in order to get my sustainability, because it's a low ticket membership, I need 1,000 members. 1,000 members. Great. Well, by the way, 1,000 members in a membership is an incredibly difficult milestone for anyone. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. I've spoke with people with millions of subscribers. They are struggling to get these members into the membership. It's a reality. So if you're dreaming of just making millions with a low ticket membership, it's just not going to happen. I'm going to say it. Because the problem is, it's not just getting them in, it's keeping them in. There's something magical that it's called churn. Churn rate, which is the number of members that leave every month. Okay. And usually the average percentage of churn rate in, let's say, fitness, our niche, this is what I researched, is around 10% a month.
So you pretty much got to think of a membership as a bucket with lots of holes.
Yeah.
So every time you just keep pouring water in, it's inevitable because it's got holes. There is a lot that is going to go out.
But hang on, we are so good so that I said, oh, as soon as I realized, oh, there's churn rate, I need to fix that. It's like a leaky bucket, like you said. So how do we started doing all of the things that in our mind would keep people in, doing more lives, doing more workshops, doing more workout plans, doing the ballerina journey, gamified, where you receive badges in your mail. We did everything. And then I think we reduced this to about 5 to 6%. It's variable, it's not like 5 to 7%, something like that. It really depends on the period. I'm just giving you rough estimates. So imagine you have 1,000 members. Even if you are incredibly good at managing churn rate, which it's very difficult, you will have, if you have 5% churn rate, you'll have 50 members leaving every month. which means you need to find a way of acquiring 50 members every single month just to stay in equilibrium. And that is why people burn out on social media. Because in order to get 1,000 members, based on the concept we said before, you need a billion views to make sure that this tiny 1-2% converts into paying members. This is why I don't care what anybody says. If this is your model, you're gonna fail. If that is the only thing you do, I don't think anything is wrong per se, but if this is the only thing you do, it's not gonna work because it's gonna kill your soul, right? So so I wanted to explore ways of changing our offer and our pricing now. We haven't done this, but it would be nice to think about it, masterminding around
So, okay.
this offer.
So let me think about it, because if I had to create this with my people, I would probably get like an interesting group of people, very limited, and probably it would start a little bit more expensive. I cannot because it's tailor-made. They are much closer to me. We can work together. We are creating together a product that is incredible, right? So it would be something in the very beginning. I probably would turn it around before even starting to create the ballerina journey. So that could be something to think about.
So I think the first thing is to assess the promise. In this case, if you've got your path laid out in a way, at least in your mind, you say, okay, I'm gonna help you. Actually, I'm gonna make you dance ballet at home as an adult, in the comfort of your home. Even if you've never danced before, even if you are out of shape, that's the offer,
Mhm.
right? Somebody that loves ballet, they always wanted to do it, would jump on it. But we'll have to explain the how in the landing page, let's
Yeah.
say, but then we come to an offer. So the offer is basically what you get when you pay an amount of money. What do you get in exchange? That's what the offer is. Listen to this. Instead of saying, okay, give me this amount of money every month or every year as a membership, you would make them commit to, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Could that be an option?
Could be very nice option.
Okay, so how many months?
Let's start for 3 months now.
Right. So okay, so we've got our path, and you know that this is kind of like the milestone. 3 months is, I don't know how many weeks, but this is 3 months.
12 weeks.
Yes, 12 weeks. So your offer will be like a 12 weeks program at this point. Which gives something beautiful to the offer. It's a time window within which people can figure themselves accomplishing something, right? And if people come with different experience, this might be their 3 months. It doesn't have to be only at the beginning. Like you can choose which slice of the pie they'll work on the 3 months, right? and you tailor your offer based on that. And then so in the 3 months, they get access to you, to the community, to the content that is progressive. How much you make them pay?
Well, if I think about it,
And you can think about some bonuses if you want to sweeten the deal. We are really masterminding here. We haven't prepared anything.
oh, that's interesting, because 12 weeks, uh, 12 weeks program. But again, how close are they with me? What am I
That's up to
offering?
you, completely up to you. You can have them in group and go live every month, or you can add a bonus where for the first 10 you can give them an introductory one-to-one call. That's very valuable. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. That's your offer.
That's really interesting. I haven't thought about this.
This is the
It's just
end
because
goal.
I'm thinking, I know, but
They want
because
to get there. How do you get them get there?
I'm thinking about all the work that I had to do to convince
Yeah.
people.
No. Let's see they're convinced already.
Okay, let's say that they're convinced already. I would probably make them pay for 3 months like this.
Think about it in terms of weeks, because when you break down the price in weeks, it's less than what it would be in months. So the entry point to work with you is way smaller.
Can even
So
be
how much would it be a month for you? And then we divide it by 4.
no, because I'm thinking about it. Even like, what if it was something like Jeebus? It can even be 600.
600 what? Dollars?
Yeah,
$600 for the 12 weeks or a month?
per month.
Per month, which is 6 divided by 4.
I've got to count it.
I'm so bad at math.
We're going 1.5.
Which is $150
A
per
week,
week.
which is more or less what I had in mind.
Okay, so you know what? Let's suppose you are running your your low ticket membership, and you decide to completely get rid of this and keep the low price. Actually, at this point, we have a membership that is at 47 a month. And we actually done it. We removed this, right? You are not involved in it anymore. You don't do any more content. You don't do much in the community apart from doing what you
I'm
love.
still surprised about the
Right?
content that I find. I'm like, oh my God, that was
Exactly.
so good.
Exactly. Could you layer this on top of it and have it as a ongoing higher ticket product, which is exactly the same offer as the main membership? It's just has got more proximity to you, a better intention for the 12 weeks, and it's a bit more tailored to them.
Yeah, I can even do now. I could even do 2K. If you think about it, it's like the amount of proximity and things and stuff and work that I can actually do. So it would become.
Okay, great. So this is now 2K.
That could work. And I could also have a limited amount of people because I know that there was
10 members only.
Yeah, 10 members only because that's how much I can actually look after. I can look after them and I can direct them and I can make them succeed.
Great. Well, this is these two offers that are based on exactly the same product. Now, this is a much healthier business.
It is. Also because it makes me want to be in there and be there with them and sometimes even do more because I want to.
Yeah.
To say, you know what, I'm going to do something extra this week because I like it.
Yes.
Do it.
It would give you more energy. You actually would want to be with these people.
Yeah.
More.
But they would also want to succeed more.
Yeah, because they are paying a lot of money. They need to see this through.
Yeah. That would. Is that something like this is the very first time I see my business from like laser answer tips from a different point of view because I tell you the truth, I'm still struggling to see it differently because I've seen it in a certain way for such a long time that is so weird and so different to detach yourself to what it has become to what it could have been, but also because I keep asking myself, but would they? Would they have not? It's like, but actually, people would have.
You test?
We tested it.
Nobody's done it before.
No.
Who cares?
Exactly. So it would have been a very nice way to have something that even if it had less people in the list or less people on social media, but those less people would have been so good at just coming in. It wasn't just numbers, it wasn't just lots of people just saying, please come into the membership so I can survive. That is not what you want. That's not how you want to give to people. And especially looking at this with this idea, the amount of energy that you can actually have creating is not even creating content, it's just it's being there for them and answering the questions and making your people succeed is so much better. It's so much better. But I tell you, I'm really going, it's weird to see it on, it's weird to see it like this.
Also, the low ticket members are maybe looking forward to one day maybe ascend to this program. So your membership becomes the lead generation method for the higher ticket product.
Sure.
That if you want in the future, you can again half the price and have it as a group coaching or whatever you want, and have like even a higher one with just one-to-one. You can layer it, but the thing is that you do the same thing without, it's the same avatar at different proximity to you at a different price. This would have
So weird. The funny thing is, I still have things in my head that go, oh, but would they? But would they?
but the thing is, you don't have to build anything.
No,
You just
exactly.
write an email, record a video, and explain the offer. If they want it, great. If they don't want it, you change it or ask them, okay, if it's not this, what would it
What
be?
would it be?
Because you don't have to build anything before you know it's going to sell. And when it sells, you build it.
Can we just delete everything and start from scratch?
I know, right? Yeah, that's the point of the video.
No, it's so it would have it's such a different way to see the business. Did that help you guys? Did it make you
Any good
see
ideas at
any
all?
good ideas exactly that came out of it?
This for us was like full of ideas for us. So I really enjoy this as an exercise. It really forces you to open your mind in different possibilities and adding new knowledge to what's been established as just the norm up until now. It's, as you can see, is quite mind blowing as well. And anybody can do it.
Very, I like this. Very interesting. Lots of thoughts,
Provoking
ideas.
You know, it's all about how much proximity you want to get people to you. Like I've heard people saying, I don't want to do one-to-one at all, right? So you don't have to go there if you don't want to, but it's a concept, right? You don't want to do one-to-one because maybe you've done it in a way that you hated before, but what if you designed it in a way that energizes you? Like I personally love working with people one-to-one because I'm better with the one than with the many. I think maybe it's a self-limiting belief. I don't know. I never actually done a group thing before, so maybe it will happen. But it's all about what you like. The more you like what you do, the better experience is going to be for your clients, customers, members, wherever they are. But there are things you could do to help your business grow in a much more sustainable way than try and brute force one membership because everybody's done it the same way. But the thing is, you have no idea what others are doing on the back end. The big gurus that teach you how to create low ticket membership, they're spending millions a year for launches and they have partners with hundreds of thousands of contacts in their email list. They have no idea what they have at their disposal to actually make their model work. Like Netflix, you'll never be as good as Netflix. There's no way around it. So try not to be Netflix, try to be you. That is the sort of the point, and I would like you to be free to think about different ways in which you would run your business, not just the way that would please your audience, just because it's based on an assumption of what you think they're going to pay for. Test stuff. Now we've tried so many things over the years to see what was working there. Well, now we have many compartments in our tool belts where we can say, well, what if we took this and applied to that and see what happens? It's like a puzzle. Use that to your advantage.
But I'm so glad we went through all those mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm glad no one came. I'm glad no one came to rescue, and we had to learn it the hard way. We had to learn it our own way, and also we had to clean up our own mess, right? So because at the end of the day, that's what you do. I mean, I wish I had a coach that could direct me in the direction, but me as a coach myself, I know it's my duty to direct the person but not save them from everything, because they will make like our clients will make the mistake. They will bash the as I keep saying, they bash their heads against the one. They go, you told me not to go there and I did anyways, and now I'm just, I'm changing direction now. I got it.
There is
But
nobody coming to save you, because also nobody's got the magic wand that can save you. There is no one strategy that is going to fix your life. And we know this
yeah,
because we paid lots of people lots of money for the magic wand that was never there. But coaching, what it is, the power of coaching is that, okay, you listen to all of this new strategies and perspective, great, but are you able to keep up with it and really implement it? Even when you wake up tomorrow and the hype is gone and you start doubting yourself again. That's when you need a coach. You need a coach to implement what you said you wanted to do. Maybe if it's the coach is more experienced, it can tell you some strategies, but the implementation is all up to you. Selling your your stuff in the videos is up to you. If you don't have the courage, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to do it. But that's when you have a coach. That's when you hire a coach that can push you and make you grow.
also
That's
the beauty of having your own business is that it's you. It changes with you. It pivots with you. It goes up and down with you. And no one and no one will you're the only one that's gonna make it yours. And that is the beauty of it. And that's why I said, if you have boundaries, if you have standards, I like this thing is like, if you have standards, you decide what to do in your business. And also, if you get to a point where you just say, I can't sustain this anymore, I don't like this anymore, I'm not enjoying this anymore, just say, I'm sorry, thank you very much, I'm not going to do it. Just because it doesn't make me happy, and therefore whenever you deliver whatever you're delivering, it's not going to make them happy. They're not going to make your people happy. So that is a very important, also sometimes, to take and make those tough decisions within your business. And that's why I'm saying, if I could go back and make it my own again, I would just change from the very beginning, from the way I create content online into the way people come into my ecosystem, and just get rid of everything else, because I know, but I needed to get there. I needed to be there and to feel that, to then come to this understanding right now, and to uh, and and to pivot and change. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here speaking with you guys, and sharing what worked and what didn't, and what we would make and do differently. So,
we're building this brand the way
ciao,
we
Ira.
want right now. So we're very happy that we're not just talking about it, we are also implementing all of the things that you hear from us, and they work magically. Okay, I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And if you've got any questions, or if you like this stuff, let me know in the comments so we can do more of this. This was just an experiment. It was nice to mastermind something together about our own business, because we wanted to be very specific rather than just, hey, let's talk about business. We took our business as a case study, but you could do this process with yours as well. That was the point of the video. If you've got any questions, if you've got any ideas, or idea for lives like this, let us know. We'd love to do more. I'm having fun. So, and yeah, we'll see you next time, and we send you lots of love. Make this world a better place. Now I'm gonna have dinner.
Already.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.